Maayong gabi mga kaigsunan. Usa ka dako nga kalipay alang kanamo dinhi sa Cebu City nga ania kamo nagapadayon sa pag-uban niining atong programa. Karon Miyerkules, panahon usab nga kung aduna kamoy mga problema nga gusto niyong iapil sa ato ang mga pag-ampo human sa ato ang presentasyon ni ini kagabion, giagda ko kamo sa pagsulat ni ini dinha sa ato ang comment section. Karong gabi mga kaigsuunan, unang hugna sa tulo ka gabi nga lektura mahitungod sa pagbansay sa mga kabataan. Sugod karong gabi, ugma sa Biyernes, panahon sa atong Vespers meeting, magapadayon kini mao nga gibati nako ang usa ka dako nga pribilehiyo alang kanato ang presensya sa atong bag-ong napili nga Children and Ministerial Spouses Director sa ato ang Central Philippine Union Conference nga mao si Ma'am Melodie May Inapan. Mao ang ato ang lecturer. Ang unang topiko nga iyang pagahisgutan karon nagauluhan og raising well-rounded kids. Ang balaang kasulatan sumala sa Proverbio 22:6 nag-ingon, bansaya ang bata diha sa dalan nga iyang pagalaktan. Og bisan siya matigulang na, dili na siya mobiya ni ana. Ang uban siguro kaninyo nagunahuna nga ang pagbunal sa bata mao ang usa ka pinakamaayo nga himuon. Apan dili kana mao ang sentro sa pagtuon niining kagabion mga kaigsuunan ug mga kahigalaan. Mao nga pahimutan kamo karon sa inyong mga panimalay, lingkod kita og maayo, atong tun-an unsay pamaagi, unsay maayong himuon sa pagbansay sa mga kabataan nato. Sa ngalan sa Cebu City SD Church, ako nagapasalamat kaninyo sa inyong pagtambong o sa nagabi-abi ni ining kagabion o ang Dios magauban kanatong tanan samtang kita magapadayon sa atong programa ni ining kagabion. Welcome, welcome ang matag usa kaninyo.
Dear Father, abide with thy children, entrusted to my care. Watch over the days of their childhood, protect them and keep them pure. Thy presence defend them from evil, preserve them from all harm. By night and by day, uphold them, I pray. Keep them safe in thy loving arms. Dear Father, abide with thy children, confirm in them thy word, as the years lead them forth from my threshold. They face an uncertain world. Strengthen their fervent conviction they leave my embrace, enfold them in a faith, keep them safe in thy loving arms. Father, abide with thy children, fill thou their souls with light. Thy wisdom direct every footstep, and lead them to endless life. And when they must walk through the darkness, be thou their guiding star. Their pathway prepare, and carry them there. Keep them safe in thy loving arms.
Alang sa atong pagsugod, akong gihangyo ang matag usa sa pagluhod alang sa pagampo. Among dalaygon, silimbahon nga Dios, amahan namo nga nakas mga langit. Ning tunga-tunga sa simana, ania kami mapasalamaton kanimo nga nakahimo kami sa pagsimba, sa pagdaig sa imong pangalan. Niining kagabion, nagaampo kami sa pinasahi nga imong tabangan ang among magsusulti si Ma'am Melodie Inapan nga hatag og mga lektura nga magagiya kanamo unsay angay himuon ilabi na sa pagmatuto sa among mga kabataan. Kami nasayod amahan nga karong panahon na daghan kanamo nga mga ginikanan nagproblema sa among mga kabataan. Nang hinaot kami nga ang lektura nga amo karong mabatian, mahimo kining kabahin, makatabang, pinaagi sa pagiya sa balaan nga espiritu, nga matultulan ang matag usa kanamo sa insakto nga pamaagi, aron ang among mga kabataan mahimong panalangin diha sa panimalay og labaw sa tanan, magamit diha sa buluhaton, sa simbahan o labaw sa tanan, makahimaya usab diha kanimo tungod gusto namo nga ang among mga kabataan mahimong maayong ehemplo nganha sa among mga panimalay o sa among palibot. Naghangyo kami kanimo nga ikaw magapadayon sa pag-ubang kanamo samtang kami magapaminaw sa mao nga lektura sa ngalan ni Hesus nga among manluluwas. Amen.
Mayong gabi sa tanan. I'm very happy to be here with you, joining you in this nightly programs. We are having a 3-night series of programs about raising children, how we are going to raise our children in the Lord. So kini nga tong programa, may theme ni siya. Ang theme sini nga program is Raising Champions. So tonight, and tomorrow, and the next night, I'm going to present to you, share with you, mga tips kung unsaon naton pagpadako ang atong mga kabataan para mahimo silang champions para sa Ginoo. So for tonight, the first night of the 3-night series, the title of this presentation is Raising Well-Rounded Kids. Unsa pagod kining well-rounded kids, no? Unya, nganong kinahanglan magid kita mag-raise sa mga kids nga ginatawag nato nga well-rounded. Unsa man ni siya? Okay. Gi-bring up nako ni siya nga topic because sa atong world today, sa atong panahon today, kids are pressured to be the best. Ang mga ginikanan, no, gusto nila nga ilang mga bata the best yun sa klase, sa extracurricular activities, kinahanglan the best yun sila. Particularly sa ilang mga grado. Now, if we are the parents, gusto ta ana, kay gusto magutang nga atong mga bata, pinaka-bright, tag-as o grado, no? Pero, on the part of the kids, mura na siyang nahimong pressure. Okay? Unya, giingon diri nga, while raising kids to be successful and encouraging them to meet their potential is necessary, pushing them to achieve unrealistic heights makes them buckle under pressure. So ang atong mga kabataan, pressured kaayo. Kay gusto manggod nato nga mga ginikanan, tag-as kay grado ang mga bata. Okay? Kay nindot gunang magsakasakas ta sa stage, no, magbaton, magdawat og kanang bitong medal nato mga kabataan, nindot na sa part sa ginikanan and it's fulfilling for us parents. Pero sa mga kabataan, unsa ka ilang feeling? Wala ba ka sila na pressure? Okay, magpadayon kita. Now, pero mga igsuon, success cannot be contributed or measured by intelligence alone. Ang pagka-bright sa mga kabataan, dili na siya measure sa success sa mga bata. Okay. In fact, a child's IQ usually measures his ability to solve theoretical problems. But that does not measure the child's emotional quotient, imagination, and creativity. So in other words, intelligence does not cover the mind alone. So it covers a lot. No? That's why our goal here is to raise well-rounded children. Kay ang intelligence sa isa ka bata, dili lang gikan sa iya mind, but in other aspects as well. Okay? Aduna kitay study nga gihimo sa India. And this study analyzed the emotional quotient and the intelligence quotient of high achievers and low performers in school academics. Unsa may ilang nakita? Now, the study showed that the academic success of students is inevitably related to both their EQ and IQ. Mayong gantag EQ, mo na siya ang emotional quotient, and IQ, of course, refers to intelligence. However, ang study nagaingon nga, it's evident, according to the study, that these students who have higher EQ have greater probability of success. In other words, kung develop ang kabataan sa emotional aspect, sa ilang social aspect, they have more chances of success. So success sa mga kabataan, dili lang gikan sa mental aspect. Gikan man na siya sa emotional aspect, emotional aspect and social aspect of children. Now, this is according to a study conducted in India. So, mga kaigsuunan, kung ang bata bright mentally, that is actually a bonus factor. Okay? But, possessing social and emotional qualities above his intellectual abilities helps the child work toward his goal and do well with it. Mo na nindot mga igsuon, no? Dili lang siya bright, no? Dili lang siya maka-cope intellectually. Pero kung ang bata maka-cope emotionally and socially, diha ta makaingon nga ang bata, ang atong kabataan well-rounded. Okay. Now, let's go back to research. According to research, no? Yes, research has demonstrated what other educators, counselors, parents, and other observers had long recognized. Unsa man ni siya mga igsoon? That the most successful people were not necessarily those with high IQ, but rather those with highly developed interpersonal and social skills. So, ang isa ka bata, makaingon ta nga well-rounded na siya, successful, if he is not only intelligent, no, mentally, no, taas og grado, perfect kanunay sa mga quizzes, sa mga exams, pero ang bata, successful na siya if he has good interpersonal skills, meaning his relationships with other children, with other people, and ug makamingle siya well with other children, makaingon ta nga ang bata successful good. Bright siya, no? Mentally, socially, and emotionally. Okay. Karon, in our times, children are expected to outshine their peers in their studies and even in extracurricular activities. Muna isa ka, dili kayo nindot baya mga igsoon, kana bitong gina-expect na to atong mga kabataan nga mas labaw pa sila sa ilang mga peers, ilang mga friends. Kinanglan akong bata mas maayo pa, mas bright pa. Pag-abot sa duaanay, pag-abot sa games, kinanglan akong bata pinakamaayo. Pag-abot sa basketball, kinanglan akong bata 3-pointers, no? Pero may siya makashoot, kita nga ginikanan daghan kayo tag mga expectations sa atong mga kabataan. Kay sa gikaingon ko na earlier, nindot man gud ang tan-awon no nga atong kabataan mo excel ba? No, mo excel sa studies, sa games, pero on the other hand, we are putting much pressure on them. Okay. So, today, all right, children are expected not to outshine their peers. Now, unsay may tabo mga igsuon? If we are putting too much pressure on our children, what could possibly happen kung daghan kay tag expectations, no? Kanang ginatawag nato nga pressure. Kung butangan nato daghang pressure nga kinahanglan mao ka sini, kinahanglan ingon ani ka, kinahanglan mao ni imong i-achieve. Unsay posible may tabo sa mga bata if we put constant pressure on them. Okay. So unsa ni siya? Excessive pressure from parents may force a child to, letter A, resort to dishonest methods to achieve his desired results, such as cheating on a paper or ensure a higher grade. Kana ba itong atong pirming i-pressure atong mga kabataan nga, kinanglan, dako ang gikagrado, kinanglan, ikaw ang pinaka-bright sa imong klase, kinanglan ka mag-study well, kay gusto ko ikaw ang pinaka-bright sa klase. Unsay posible matabo mga igsuon, no? There's something that could possibly happen. Maka-encourage na siya sa bata nga basi mangupya ba? Mangupya sa klase kay tungod si mama, kuan kaayo stress kay gusto ni mama nga ma-perfect gyud ko. So, unsay posible nga mahitabo? Basi ang bata makat-on siya og pangupya sa klase kay gusto man siya nga motaas iya grado. No? Dili na siya nindot. Why? Because we are teaching our children to be dishonest. Just so they can please us as parents. Unsa pag yun? Ang usa pag yun ka, posible na matabo mga igsoon, base bitaw nga mo resort sila sa drugs, sa alcohol, kay nga naman, ang stress, ang pressure na atong ginahatag sa iya, sobra ra, nga dili sila ka-cope. Base bala later on, they will resort to drugs. Nga dili taganahan ana kung kita ginikano, no dili taganahan nga maunay may tabo sa atong kabataan. Unsa pag yun? Ang usa ka posible nga may tabo diha is the child will possibly comply. Iya kang sundon, but dili siya kahimo sa iyang kaugalingong decision. Magsige siya salig nimo, di siya katindog sa iyang duha ka tiil, kay naanad man siya sa imo, sigig pressure, no? Sigig pressure. So that's not good. And then letter D, base ba nga itong mga kabataan, they will respond to commands, but not to situations. Mutuo lang sila, but they do not understand what they are following. Mo na'y posibleng matabo kung sige nato gina-pressure ang mga kabataan kay tungod may naatay gusto, no, naatay gusto nato sila nga pinaka-bright sa klase. Now, dili baya na kanang dili na siya lain mga igsoon, no, nga i-require nato atong kabataan nga maghimo silang bright, ga-excel sila, dili na siya lain. Ang lain diha mga igsuon, kung ato silang pugson, niya butangan atong daghan pressure para ma-achieve ang atong gusto. Okay, unsa pa gyud mga igsuon. Ang isa pa gyud is base bitaw nga atong mga kabataan, they will make their own choices without consulting us kay mahadlok sila nga base dili ta ma-please. Unya pa gyud. They will rely on themselves and not on us. Kay mahadlok sila nga dili sila ka-cope sa pressure nga atong gibutang sa ilang mga abaga. Okay? And ang isa pa gyud mga igsoon is limit his participation in activities and chances of learning. Nahadlok sila kay base dili sila ka-cope sa mga demands, unrealistic demands sa parents. Dili na hinuon sila mo participate kay mahadlok sila og failure. Okay? Mao nay dili nato gusto may tabo sa mga kabataan. Kay nganuman, we want to develop well-rounded kids. We want to develop children who have good interpersonal relationships with other children. Pero kung butangan nato bug-at rapod kayo nga pressure, mo na'y posible may tabo. Basig mawala ang ilang gana mag-participate kay tungod na hadlok sila nga dili sila ka-cope sa mga unrealistic demands sa parents. Okay. Unsa pa gyud posible may tabo mga igsuon? So here, make poor judgment or demonstrate uncontrolled impulses. Dili sila kabalo mo discern between right and wrong. Mahadlok sila mo himog judgment kay tungod mahadlok sila masayop. Kay tungod grabe ang pressure sa ilang mga abaga. And unsa pa gyud igsoon, no? Think ang isa ka dili nindot diya matabo mga igsoon is base bala ang atong mga bata, they will think that failure is not an option. Mahadlok sila masayop. And they do not realize nga success di ay, failure is part of success. Because when one fails, we learn lessons. Maog, diri day ko nasayop. So dapat diri ko mag-learn, diri na ko ni-improve ang diri na pita ko mag-improve. Pero kung daghan kayo taog, pressure nga ibutang sa kabataan, they will not see the benefit of failure. Okay? Nga ang failure di ay mga igsuon, makatabang sa ato. Because it is through failures that we see areas where we can improve. Okay, ano pag yun? Unsa pag yun? They will also feel trapped but would rather suffer than reach out and admit he is in trouble. Dili sila mangayog tabang. Kaya nahadlok man sila nga nasayop sila. So they will feel trapped. They will feel helpless. No? Okay, next. Ang isa pag yun mga igsuon is, kana bitong constant need of validation. Unsa pa na? Kung sa layman's term, sa Bisaya pa, kana bitong gitawag nato og kana bitong KSP, kulang sa pansin. Magsige na silang papansin kay gusto silang validation. Gusto sila makahibaw kung ang ilang ginahimo sakto ba. They are in constant need of praise because they do not see their worth. Wala nila nakita ang ilang worth. Okay? Mo ng mga bata who are in constant need of validation, they would always seek attention. Why? Because they need appreciation, they need validation. All right, another thing here is base his self-esteem on someone else's acknowledgement of his work. Meaning, kinanglan pa siya og appreciation, kanang attention, before niya makita ang iyang value. No, mo na siya kay, and then, he needs people's, let's say, attention so that he may be able to see that his work is quality. Muna dili kay may mga bata magud igsuon no nga dili kinahanglan og validation sa ibang friends. They are confident of their worth. May mga bata pod nga kinahanglan sila og validation before they can see their worth. That's very sad. Okay? Muna bitaw nga dili ginato pressureon ang mga bata. Of course, ang pressure ba lang nga sobra ra kayo, dili na to amon sina, dili na to, we should not put pressure because they might feel they may not have confidence, tapos kinahanglan sila pirmi validation of their work. Then, another thing is, ang ilang pagtanaw sa criticism is destructive rather than constructive. Meaning, mga igsuon, kanang every time na makabati sila og criticism, lain ilang pamatyagan. No? Kay nga naman, kanang dili sila secure. I mean, they do not see the worth of criticisms. Mo na siya basad grabe kaing pressure. Children who are under constant pressure will always perceive criticism as destructive. Dili nila makitaan ang blessing sa criticism when criticism is one way of improving themselves. And that is very sad. Okay? Now, according to Ellen G. White, true education means more than taking a certain course of a study. No? So kung mangutan natin kita, unsaon man day nato pag-educate atong mga kabataan, no? How are we supposed to educate, to train our children so that they will become well-rounded? All right, we have counsels here from Ellen G. White, from counsels to parents, teachers, and students. It says, true education means more than taking a certain course of study. It is broad. It includes the harmonious development of all the physical powers and the mental faculties. It teaches the love and fear of God and is a preparation for the faithful discharge of life's duties. Ang education day, mga kaigsuunan, dili lang, it's not really about mental work, but holistic. Kaya nga naman, ang goal sa education, true education, is for us to be useful in this world. And not only in this world, but in the world to come. Okay? So karon mga kaigsuunan, gusto ko mo share sa inyo paano nato himuon nga atong mga bata well-rounded, no? Magdako sila nga holistic bitaw ilang education, dili lang mentally, kundi emotionally and socially. Kay suno pa sa atong gitun-an earlier, ang isa ka successful nga bata, dili lang siya bright, but a well-rounded kid is not only intelligent, but he is a kid who has good interpersonal relationships. He can cope with, the challenges that he is facing when he is with people. So I will share with you briefly 15 tips, no? They're just short tips. Sayon ra siya hinumdumon. So 15 tips in raising well-rounded children. Okay, what's the first? The first here is, of course, this is basic. Kinahanglan, you are going to be your child's strongest support system. Okay? Kinahanglan ikaw nga ginikanan support gid ka sa imong kabataan because your children have dreams and they have goals. no matter how young they are, they want to achieve something in life. So, kita nga ginikanan, support. Kada itong ginatawag nga, all-out support. We should always be there. And support comes not only in presence, but in other aspects. No? Physical, you can also be an emotional support. Kana bitong gitawag na itong support system. Kung ang mga kabataan na ay failures, na ay sadness, na ay frustrations, then we can be there. We can be the crying shoulder. We can give them a tap on the shoulder saying everything is okay. And if we have the means, we can also give financial support. Of course, we should always support children financially because we have to send them to school. Okay? So that's it. According to parents, teachers, and students, no? Counsels to Parents, Teachers, and Students by Ellen G. White, it is in the home that the education of the child is to begin. Here is his first school. Here with his parents as instructors. He is to learn the lessons that are to guide him throughout life. Lessons of respect, obedience, reverence, self-control. The educational influences of the home are a decided power for good or evil. They are in many respects silent and gradual, but if exerted on the right side, they become a far-reaching power for truth and righteousness. If the child is not instructed aright here, Satan will educate him through the agencies of his choosing. How important then is the school and the home? So our support, our parents, come from ensuring that the child's basic education is there. And the child's basic education is at home. The child's first teachers are his parents. Okay? So when kita nga mga ginikanan, when we fulfill this, we play the role of teachers to our youngsters, then we have shown support to our children. Ikadua, help your child find his or her identity. Now, remember, each of us, we are unique. There is no one like us in the entire world. Okay? Kung may kaparehas kang itsura, even if parehas ka mong itsura, you are not the same. Even twins are not the same. Each twin has his own identity. As parents, we should help our child find who he really is. And we should instill in the minds of our children this very beautiful verse found in Psalm 139:13. It says, "For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." That's from the New International Version. Remember, God created each of us uniquely. He shaped us, no? And then before we were born, God already has plans for us, for each child. So we should tell our children that our identities, we are children of God. That is what makes us special and unique. We are children of God. God has shaped us, very carefully, so that when we go out of our mother's womb, we are who we are with our own identities. All right. So, the third, applaud efforts, but not abilities. No? So in other words, kinanan kita ang number one fan sa itong mga kabataan. Kung unsa ang na-achieve sa itong mga kabataan, we should be there to applaud, to what? To give support. Okay? Pero mga ginikanan, remember, we are not going to applaud abilities. Ano ang dapat naton i-applaud? Kanang pakpakan ba? Pakpakan. Clap our hands. Unsa man yun ang atong dapat pakpakan? Dili ang abilidad, mga igsuon. Kundi, ang effort sa atong mga kabataan in doing their best. Okay? Nasipyat sila, nibangon, ning utro og himo sa ilang mga, mga mistakes. Kung naa sila yung mga failures, nibangon, nadapa sila, nibangon. Unya, kung naa sila yung sayop, naa sila yung mistakes, ilang ginahimo, ilang usbon, diha ta mo applaud. No? We should praise, we should applaud their efforts in trying to do their best. Now, na-counsel naman si Mrs. White about this one. Kaning applauding efforts ba and not abilities. According to Ellen G. White, Child Guidance, she said, children need appreciation, sympathy, and encouragement. Remember, mga gikinahanglan sa itong mga kabataan, no? Appreciation, sympathy, and encouragement. Kung nasayop, kung na-frustrated, ato silang tabangan nga muusab para ilang himuon liwat ang ilang mga gipang himo, no? Ang ilang mga work in school, kung giingnan sila ni teacher nga dapat you should do it again, we should support them and we should applaud, no? Their efforts of trying to do their best. Pero na-counsel si Mrs. White. According to her, Mrs. White, care should be given or care should be taken not to foster in them the love of praise. This is a very strong statement. The parent or teacher who keeps this in view, the true ideal of character and the possibilities of achievement, cannot cherish or encourage self-sufficiency. Okay? Dili naton himuon mga igsuon nga ang bata mag-crave sa atong praise. Mo na bitaw nga we applaud not the gift but the efforts. Okay, unsa pa gyud? This refers to the teachers and also the parents. He will not encourage the youth the desire or effort to display their ability or proficiency. He who looks higher than himself will be humble, yet he will possess a dignity that is not abashed or disconcerted by outward display or human gestures. So we should not make children long for praise for their ability. Okay? We should not teach them. We should not foster in them the love of praise. Kay kini mga igsuon, maka-teach a bata to be proud. Okay? And they might forget the giver of the gifts. All right? We praise the giver of the gifts. Not the individual with the gift. No, we praise the giver of the gifts. But we applaud efforts. What efforts? Efforts to be their best. Okay? Efforts to reach their full potential. All right, let's go to the next. Number 4. O kani importante kay ni siya mga igsuon. Encourage curiosity in your child. Importante kay ni siya mga igsuon. Why? Because when you encourage curiosity in your child, you are teaching your child to be you are teaching them, you are training them to have critical thinking and to be creative. Okay? Na, wala mo kabantay mga igsuon nga kanimo tong mga gagmayng mga bata. Grabe kay pangutana. Unlimited questions. Okay? Unya, kinara bang ilang mga pangutana, usay, di ta katubag. Okay? Di ta katubag. Kanang, mayingon sila, mangutana sila nga, kanang unsa man gilaw mo, how far is the sky from us? How far is the moon? Can I go to the moon? Nya mangutana sila, in heaven ba? In heaven, do we have houses there? Are we going to build houses? Some of their questions we can answer, but some of their questions we cannot. Okay? But just the same, we should not disregard their questions because kini nga mga questions nag-encourage ba curiosity, and the more curious a child is, the more he's trying to see us that he is thinking. Nya mao man na itong gusto mga igsuon. Kanay butang maghuna-huna ang atong mga kabataan. So we should train them how to think. Therefore, we should encourage them to be curious. Okay. According to Ellen G. White again, Child Guidance, every mother should take time to reason with her children. Why? Not just to correct, not just to train or teach critical thinking, but to correct their errors and patiently teach them the right way. Okay? Take time to reason. Dili na siya argument, ha? Dili na siya argument, dili na siya pakiglalis, but children are very curious. And when they are curious, they have so many questions. Some of these questions, as I said earlier, we cannot answer kay wala kitay tubag. But just the same, we should try our best to deal with our children's curiosity. Take time to reason with them so that our children can discern between right and wrong. They know they can choose, they will be able to choose between right and wrong. Okay, another. This is number 5. Kani siya mga igsoon, importante yung kani siya, no? Mothers, fathers, develop your child's reading habits. Okay? It's not enough to just teach children how to read. Di na siya enough. Okay? I mean, of course, we should teach our children how to read, pero di na siya enough mga igsuon. Unsa pa man gyud di ay, we should develop their reading habits. No? Kana bitong, because there are different kinds of reading. Kanang naatay reading, kanang, our children read for study. Our children also must learn to read for pleasure, for leisure. And kita mga ginikanan, we have the key. We hold the key in developing in our children the love for reading. Of course, we should not let our children read everything, no? Because naay mga reading materials nga dili dapat nato i-introduce sa ila. Okay? For more counsels on these things, you should read Mrs. White's counsels on this balakay. Dili tanan reading materials bagay sa atong mga kabataan. Pero ang akong ginamin diri is kana bitong reading habits. Kanang the love for reading, because when children love to read, they will add more knowledge. They will learn more. Kana bitong they will get knowledge nga usahay dili nila makuha sa classroom. And it has been said that the more we read, the more we know. The more we know, the more we learn. Okay? In fact, our children will be able to go places. Biskan wala sila dito physically, but they will be able to get to know different places through reading. So, daghan kayo benefits, mga igsuon, ang kanibutang na I love for reading. And isa pa, kanibutang kung ang bata natin maayo kay reading comprehension, makatabang gid mga igsuon sa ilang pag-eskwela. Okay? Now, according again to Mrs. White in Child Guidance, fathers, mothers, obtain all the help you can from the study of our books and publications. Take time to read to your children. Form a home reading circle in which every member of the family shall lay aside their busy cares of the day and unite in study. Especially will the youth who have been accustomed to reading novels and cheap storybooks receive benefit from joining in the evening family study. So, one way of instilling in our children the love for reading is reading in our family worship. So, unsa atong gamiton nga mga reading materials? Well, it depends on how old your children are. So, may mga reading materials kita nga appropriate for preschool children. We also have appropriate reading materials which are good for teens and so on. The thing is, reading, there is reading in the family worship, and after reading, there is interaction. Kanibutang gitawag na tong higher order, and then we apply higher order thinking skills. We ask higher level questions sa atong mga kabataan because they develop critical thinking. But the thing there really is, we parents must instill in our children the love for reading. And when we do that, we will be able to develop well-rounded children. Okay, number 6. Parents must understand this, that children have different learning styles. Ang uban children, visual ilang learning styles. Ang uban ng mga kabataan, kanang sa hearing, audio. Ang uban mga kabataan, kinesthetic. Our parents must understand that. No? Kay, kung sa teaching pa, there are different teaching strategies. And these teaching strategies cater to the different learning needs of children. Our parents must also understand that sila ginay makaila sa ilang mga kabataan, kay ilago ng mga bata. So sila kabalo sa learning styles sa mga kabataan. Okay. According to Ellen G. White, again, child guidance, the greatest care should be taken in the education of youth. This can also refer to children, to vary the manner of instruction so as to call forth the high and noble powers of the mind. There are very few who realize the most essential ones of the mind and how to direct the developing intellect, the growing thoughts, and the feelings of youth. You know what? Brothers and sisters, kung varied bitaw ang atong teaching strategies, the more nga mag-learn atong mga kabataan. Kaya kung usa na ka teaching strategy, mapulaan man gud ang mga kabataan, and children want variation. So, as parents, we should understand this. Okay, then another statement here, still from Child Guidance and from Ellen G. White, it says, the greatest care should be taken in the education of the youth to vary the manner. I think this is the same now. Yeah, this is the same earlier. Number 7, nagdubli ang akong slides diri mga igsuon. Another tip, this is the 7th. Let us keep lines of communication open. No? Unsa man na mga igsuon? Kani bitaw siya nga, the children are not afraid to go to you to talk about their concerns, about their frustrations, about their fears, about their challenges, no? Kinahanglan ato ni siya i-keep open. Kay nga namang mga igsuon, kay basig ato mga kabataan mo adtos iban nga mga tawo, no? Unya basig bataw ang guidance sa mga tawo nga ihatag, basig balag dili maayo para sa mga kabataan. So as parents, we should see to it that our communication lines are open. No? Naagi na sa mother, mga kaibigan, o sa father as well. They should not instill in the child the fear. Kay basi balag, di na sila ganahan mo adto sa ato, no? Unya, kanang, sa uban na lang hinuon sila mga yung tambag, imbis nga sa ato, sa uban na lang hinuon niya, dili na siya nindot. Okay? Good communication between you and your child is important for developing a positive relationship. As your child gets older, good communication will make it easier for you to talk about things like alcohol and drugs. Nga namang importante man mga igsuon nga i-develop ang communication lines open samtang gagmay pa itong mga kabataan. Kay later on when they grow up, they will face issues, no? Issues bitaw like drugs, like alcohol, no? Daghan nga mga issues, okay? Like premarital sex, no? These are sensitive issues. Nya base sa uban sila mga yung tambag, na dili na siya. Ang nindot gid mga igsuon nga kung may mga challenges ang mga kabataan, asa sila mo dangop? Walay lain kundi sa ato kita nga mga ginikanan. Mo na nga samtang gagmay pa ato mga kabataan, we should make the child see that we are always there for them, ready to help them, ready to support them whenever they are facing challenges. Number 8, we should ensure healthy bedtime habits. Now, we should remember that children need sleep. No? Patulugon na to sila insakto. Kung pwede gani nap time, no? Kung ganahan, we should also let our children have naps. Kay unsa ang benefits sa sleep sa atong mga kabataan? See, sleep plays a crucial role in the development of young minds. In addition to having a direct effect on happiness, research shows that sleep impacts alertness and attention, cognitive performance, mood, resiliency, vocabulary acquisition, learning, and memory. See? Ang sleep kuno, ang insaktong tulog maka-develop og unsa cognitive performance. Cognitive refers to the mind. So, kung ang bata insakto sa tulog, kana siya mga kaigsunan, maka-encourage nga siya og develop sa bata. Sa intelligence sa bata. Labi na sa iya critical thinking. Usa pag yun, kung ang bata insaktong tulog, lami kayang mudo. Ganahan siya matus ispilahan kay sakto iyang tulog. Unsa pag yun? Dali siya makakaton sa lesson kay insakto ang tulog. Okay? Unsa pag yun? Dali siya maka-memorize og mga importante nga mga bagay. In other words, dali siya tudluan kung sakto ang tulog, no? So children, younger children especially must have at least how many hours of sleep? Okay? At least, no? 7 or 8 hours of sleep. The younger gani, mga bata gani nga younger pa, usay gani, mulapas pa na sila 8 hours, 9 hours, or 10 hours of sleep. No? Kana siya kay makatabang. Aside from giving, kanang bitang good health sa mga kabataan, dali ra sila motubo, makatabang gyud mga igsuon ang insaktong tulog sa cognitive development sa mga kabataan. All right. This is another very important thing. Number 9. We're on our 9th tip. We should encourage our children to participate in team sports. I'm not saying kinahanglan natutudluan itong mga bata mag-compete, ha? That's not what I mean. But what I mean here is we should encourage our children to participate in games. Kana bitang dili lang magpuyo sa balay, kana bitang muadto gid outdoors ug magduwa-duwa sa mga fellow children. Of course, we have to make sure nga ang place nga ang bata magduwa-duwa kinahanglan safe and secure. So granting na anak diha, no, safe ang lugar, secure ang lugar, we should encourage our children to go outdoors so they can breathe fresh air, they can have the sunlight, and they can play with their friends. Sadya kaya na mga igsuon, no? Kana bitang magduwa-duwa, I remember my childhood. Kanang wala pa mi mga gadgets ato mga kaigsunan. Moadto gimis gawas magduwa og tago-tago, tubig-tubig. Pertig yung sadyaa. So we should encourage our children to participate in such, pleasurable moments. Kay nga no mga igsuon, unsa day ang benefits sa outdoor games? Nganong i-encourage ginato ato mga kabataan nga magduwa-duwa, nga mag-play, nga mag-engage in sports together with other children. There are benefits. First, games. Teach your child to abide by rules. Okay? Matudluan sila nga mo-abide sa rules. Unsa pag yun? Play as part of the team. They will learn teamwork. Unsa pag yun? They will be responsible for their actions. Unsa pag yun? They will also develop the qualities of sportsmanship. So they will actually learn many things when they are playing outdoors. Ano pag yun? Ang isa pag yun ka-importante nga value matunan sa bata when we encourage them to play with friends is they will learn how to lose gracefully. Na dili baya tanan panahon nga in games madaog sila, no? May mga panahon pud baya nga mapildi sila. So when we encourage our children to play outdoors, they will learn what it takes to lose gracefully. Kana batang graceful losers, dili sila kanang nangasuko kay napildi, no, but they will learn to accept defeat gracefully. Unsa pa gyud? They will also learn the importance of practice to become good at what he does. So pananglitan, maayo siya sa baseball, or maayo siya sa basketball, or skating, or whatever sport he wants to do. Kana bitang kung naa sila sa gawas niya, ato silang i-encourage, they will learn the value of practice. No? Kana bitang magsige sila practice para they will become good at their, at this particular game. All right, next. So according to Mrs. White, no, when we teach our children, when we encourage them to go outdoors, they will also learn discipline. The object of discipline is the training of the child for self-government. He should be taught self-reliance and self-control. So these are values children learn when we encourage them to engage in team sports. Another, we should also teach our child the value of friendship. Of course, we encourage our children to play outdoors. We encourage our children to play with their friends. Pero may mga panahon nga dili sila magkasinabot. May panahon nga ang isa ka team daog, ang isa ka team pildi. May isa pod nga may mga panahon pod nga pirmi na lang sila pildi. Wala gid sila kadaog. Now, ano ang dapat nato itudlo sa ila? We should teach them that no matter what, friendship will always remain. No? We should always teach them the value of friendship, that biskan ano pa nang magduwa-duwa sila, kapila pa sila mapildi, they will always remain friends. No? They should help each other in their games, and they will realize nga biskan pirdi sila, their loss, okay, their defeat must not affect relationships. All right. According to Psalm 17:17, and we should teach this to our children, a friend loves at all times. So we should teach our children that no matter what, they should always love each other. They should always remain friends. All right? Let's go to the 11th. Hapit na lang tamatapos, no? We should teach our children to be respectful of others. Kini mga igsoon, usag gini siya ka-importante ka-value nga atong matudlo sa atong kabataan. Ang pagrespeto, particularly ang pagrespeto sa elders. Sa ilang lula o lulo, sa ilang uncle o auntie, sa ilang teachers, sa people who are older than them. Kunya, mga igsuon, pwede po nato tudluan atong mga bata respect in our conversations. Paano? Kana bitong mag-take turns in speaking. While someone is speaking, ang isa dili mo insert, they take turns in speaking. Pwede nato sila matudluan og kana bitong respectful words like thank you, please, you're welcome, good morning, things like this. We should teach in our children. So, kinanan, gamay pa lang sila, bata pa sila, natudluan na nato sila kini nga mga values. Why? Kay kini nga mga values will stay throughout life. Okay? So, according to Proverbs 22:6, we are told, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's a very good verse. Let's go to the 12th tip here. Introduce your child to art forms. No? Para ang atong mga kabataan, well-rounded sila. Dili lang nato sila tudluan og math. Dili lang reading. Dili lang writing. These things are basic. We should teach them. But we should also teach them art forms. Labi na kung kita nga mga mothers, no? Kita ang kabalo kung unsa ang hilig sa mga kabataan. Unya, unsa bala ang ila balang where they are good at. So we can introduce to them music. No? Patuduan na itong piano, tuduan violin, unsa pa yun. Kung ang bata mahilig sa drawing, i-encourage nato sila nga ilang i-develop ang ilang, ilang craft. Base hilig sila sa painting, unsa pa yun. Base hilig sila magluto. So we should support them. We should push them, encourage them to develop the art that they are interested in. Okay, so it says here, whether it's music, drawing, or any such art form, providing a creative outlet for expression can boost your child's auditory and cognitive development. Mga igsuon, kung atong mga bata maayo sa art, nabay na relation no ang art ug ang intelligence. It will boost, when you are encouraging them to let's say develop the art they're interested in, this can help develop also cognitive development. That's one thing to remember. Okay? According to Ellen G. White, the author of all beauty, himself a lover of the beautiful, God provided to gratify in his children the love of beauty. He made provision also for their social needs, for the kindly and helpful associations that do so much to cultivate sympathy and to brighten and sweeten life. All right? Let's go to the, kapila naman ni siya. The 13th, third to the last. Provide your child exposure to varied cultures and environments. Nindot gid siya mga igsuon kung ang mga kabataan bala naton may exposure to other cultures. So what does this mean? No? As much as possible, travel with your children. Dili man ta ka-afford mag-travel abroad. We can travel around the Philippines. Of course, we have to secure budget for that. No? Kadang, kung dili man ta ka tour around the Philippines, at least sa mga places, lapit, kanang duol sa inyo bitaw, so that your children will understand different cultures. And when our children understand different cultures, they will have, kanang bitang ginatawag na to, o kanang sympathy. No? Sympathy towards others, empathy towards others. Makasabot sila nganong ang uban tawo mao ni ang behavior. Makasabot sila ngano ang uban tawo mao ni ang practices. So, the more they understand, the more they know about culture, the more they will understand and appreciate, their fellow human beings, their fellow children, no? And makatabang po siya igsuon sa cognitive development sa mga kabataan. Okay, second to the last. Okay, this is, we should shower our children with affection. Kani siya, mga igsuon. As parents, no? Mao magin atong ginahimo, bitaw, di ba? Sa pagkatawo sa bata, ang atong ginapakita sa bata, ang atong pagpalangga. So, ato na siyang i-consistent, no? Atong i-permanente. No matter what comes, no matter what happens, it is our duty to shower our children with affection. Okay? What else? Here. Studies have shown that adults, this is very important. May I repeat? Studies have shown that adults who receive warmth and affection from their parents in their childhood are happier and less anxious than the adults who weren't raised with appreciation. See ang effect? Kung ang mga kabataan busog sa pagpalangga while they are still little, no? Kini siya mga kaigsuunan mo manifest na siya pagkadako sa bata. When children lack let's say, appreciation. They lack kanang love, affection from parents. Mumanifest gyapon ni siya pagkadako sa kabataan, no? Kung dako na sila. And diha na magka-problema. Kay naay kulang. No? Naay kulang ang bata. Kay daghan siyang unfulfilled needs. So, one of the needs of children is, of course, love and affection from parents. So, if we want our children to become well-rounded, we should shower them with love and affection. All right. The last but not the least is very important. We should remember that we should not be overprotective of our children. No, of course, we have to protect our children, mga kabata, mga fellow parents. Pero we should also allow them freedom to explore, to discover. Sometimes they have to get dirty in order for them to learn. Let's give them the freedom, okay? Sometimes they have to fail in order to learn. Let's give them the freedom. When they fail, let's encourage them. Let's show them where they failed, and let's show them where they can get up. Okay? So don't be overprotective. Kaya nga naman, kung overprotective kita sa mga kabataan, we deny them the chances of learning, of discovering. Of course, we should always be their parents to guide, no? Kay usay baya, may mga discovery baya po ng mga children, ang atong mga children bala nga needing our guidance. So we should be there. Pero we should give them the freedom, no, to explore, to learn by themselves, to commit mistakes, because it is through mistakes that they learn how to improve. So, wala siya mga igsuon, okay? But if you become overprotective of your children, you deny them the chance of becoming responsible, okay? Becoming a responsible learner. Tapos, imbis mag-cut-on sila, wala na lang noon kaya na-distort man nato, no? So, usahay, mayingon sila nga, ma, gusto ko mo adto dito sa kuan, ma, gusto ko mo adto dito sa gawas, kay gusto ko mo tanaw og mga worms. Ayaw ing nga, ayaw pag-ana, kay hugaw na, ayaw pag-ana, kay basig mahugaw imong sinina, mabaw kog laba, ayaw pag-ino. I mean, don't do that to your child. Why? Because you are denying them chances of discovery. It is our duty to wash our children's clothes, of course, but you should give them the freedom to be dirty at times, just for the sake of learning. So, mao to mga igsoon, ang 15 tips on how to raise well-rounded children. Okay? Mrs. White said, in the arrangements for the education of the chosen people, it is made manifest that a life centered in God is a life of completeness. Everyone He has implanted, He provides to satisfy. Every faculty imparted, He seeks to develop. Okay? And here, again earlier I said we should teach our children interpersonal relationships. Christian sociability is altogether too little cultivated by God's people. Now there is a need for us to develop in our children the ability to hold interpersonal relationships. Those who shut themselves up within themselves, who are unwilling to be drawn upon to bless others by friendly associations, lose many blessings, for by mutual contact minds receive polish and refinement. By social intercourse, acquaintances are formed and friendships contracted, which result in a unity of heart and an atmosphere of love which is pleasing in the sight of heaven. So God does not stop us from forming relationships with others, no? Okay, so here, okay, the last here I would like to leave you is this, still from Mrs. White. We should educate the youth to exercise equally the mental and the physical powers. The healthful exercise of the whole being will give an education that is broad and comprehensive. So mga ito mga kaigsunan, ang atong 15 tips so that we may be able to raise well-rounded children. Because when our children are well-rounded, they can be useful in society. They will grow up happy and loving children. They will be useful in society. And above all, they will be useful in doing the work for the Lord and in bringing souls to the foot of the cross. May God bless you, especially our parents, as we do our best in raising children who will become champions for the Lord Jesus.
Karon Miyerkules mga kaigsuunan, doon na tayo mga pre-request nga nasulat sa atong comment section. Mao hinungdan nga akong gihangyo ang matag usa, mangluhod kita alang sa atong pagampo. Among silimbahon, dalaygon namo nga Dios, nagapasalamat kami kanimo nga nining tunga-tunga sa semana. Makahimo kami sa hatod kanimo sa among mga panginahanglan. Dalaygon nga Dios, ania ang among mga pagampo diha kanimo. Ikaw nakakita nga dunay ginahimo karon nga evangelistic crusade sa nabuwad SDA Church sa Bohol. Among ginaampo nga na kanimo nga imong tabangan nga kini nga krusada amahan mahimong magwalang puson. Kami usab nagaampo kanimo nining imong mga anak nga nagbalatian. Kikinahanglan nila amahan ang imong pagtabang. Gusto nila nga maayo. Tungod kay among gibati nga diha lamang kanimo ana ang hingpit nga kaayuhan sa mga problema sa imong mga anak. Among ginaampo nga imong tabangan si Jessica Tabado Ovalo, si Jimenez Cabanas, si Franklin Vidal, si Eliana Tayupon, si Abidnigo Invinto, o si Inday Mandi. Dalaygon nga Dios kining imong mga anak, gikinahanglan og pagtabang, gikinahanglan ang ilang hingpit nga kaayuhan. Nasayod kami nga ang uban kanila dunay dako nga problema sa panglawas, emotional, physical, o psychological nga problema nga maoy hinungdan usab nga nakapasamot sa ilang gibati. Maong nagahangyo kami kanimo nga imong hikapon sila pinaagi sa imong gamhanan nga mga kamot aron sila maulian ilabi na nga imong gamiton usab ang mga tambal nga gidapat sa ilang lawas. Dalaygon nga Dios, kami usab nagaampo alang sa Tomlinson family. Sila amahan nagapasalamat kanimo tungod sa imuhang grasya, sa imong kaluoy o sa imong pagprotektar ngadto kanila. Salamat usab nga imong gitabangan si Pearly Joy Inkoy alang sa iyahang handom alang sa pagpasar sa medical technology exam nga paghimuon karong Marso 16 hangtod sa 17. Nasayod kami amahan nga sa diha nga imo siyang tabangan. Mamahimo usab kini nga dako nga katabang ilabi na siyang panimalay. Amo usab giampo nga imong tabangan si Jaon Vidal nga makahimo siya sa pagbalik sa pag-alagad nga na kanimo. Ang iyang minahal sa kinabuhi adunay handom sa paghiusa diha kanimo aron makuyog na usab niya ang iyang tibok panimalay alang sa pag-alagad. Dalaygon nga Dios mahimo nga aduna pay mga butang nga wala ikasampit namo og nasayod kami nga matag usa aduna usay mga problema among gihangyo ginadangop na namo nga na kanimo tungod kay nasayod kami ikaw ang Dios makagahom sa tanan og nasayod kami andam ikaw sa pagtubag sa mga pagampo. Lauman namo amahan nga ang among mga pagampo mudangat nga naha sa imong tilan og labas tanan mabatnan ang kaayuhan o pagtubag sa among mga pangalyupo. Kining tanan among gipasalamatan sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Dear Father, abide with thy children, entrusted to my care. Watch over the days of their childhood, protect them and keep them pure. Thy presence defend them from evil, preserve them from all harm. By night and by day, uphold them, I pray. Keep them safe in thy loving children, confirm in them thy word. As the years lead them forth from my threshold, they face an uncertain world. Strengthen their fervent conviction. Speak peace into their hearts as they leave my embrace. Enfold them in a faith. Keep them safe in thy loving arms. Father, abide with thy children. Fill thou their souls with light. Thy wisdom direct every footstep and lead them to endless life. And when they must walk through the darkness, be thou their guiding star. Their pathway prepare and carry them there. Keep them safe in thy loving arms.
Alang sa itong pagtapos, akong gihangyo ang tanan sa pagduko sa inyong mga ulo alang sa pagampo. Among dalaygon, silimbaho na mo nga Diyos, amahan na mo nga nakas mga langit, daghang salamat sa mga nindot nga lektura, nga nagtudlo ka na mo, og nindot nga pamaagis, pagbansay sa among mga kabataan. Nagalaom kami nga ang mga buta nga among nabatian, ining kagabhion, mamahimo kadto nga galamiton alang sa among matag-adlaw nga pagkinabuhi sa pagsulti namo sa among mga kabataan sa insakto nga pamaagi nga magdala kanila sa pagkamatarong og labaw tanan pagbaton og suod nga relasyon diha kanimo ingon nga among Ginoo. Panlanginan mo ang matag usa ka mga ginikanan, ihatag ang balan nga espiritu, giyahi ang matag usa alang sa pagkinabuhi nga Dios nun aron ang among mga kabataan usab makakita kanamo nga mga ginikanan ingon nga maayong ehemplo ngadto kanila. Salamat Amahan sa iyong pagtubag sa among pagampo sa ngalan ni Hesus nga ang manluluwas. Amen. Mga kaigsuonan, kamo akong gipasalamatan sa inyong mapadayonon nga pagpaminaw sa atong matagabi nga programa. Palihog ayaw kalimot, ugma Huwebes, mao ang ikaduha nga sumpay sa lain na usab nga topiko nga magisgot gihapon mahitungod sa mga kabataan. Pinaagi ni Ma'am Inapan, ang atoang Children Ministries Director sa atoang CPUC. So, magkita ta ugma sa ikaduha nga topiko. Daghang salamat, ang Dios magauban kanatong tanan.